Welcome back, everybody, to the beginning of our program year, and welcome to all of those who are participating on our live stream. And a special thank you for all of those folks who make that live streaming possible. Thank you so much. In the gospel that I read last Sunday, Jesus confronted the Pharisees and the scribes about their idea of what purity meant and their judgment of his disciples who did not conform to what they thought the standard of piety was. They wanted to know why the disciples didn't wash their hands before eating like the elders had commanded. There are passages in the Gospel of Mark that hint at Jesus saying that Jews and Gentiles are alike in terms of what defiles a person. It's what comes from the heart, the mind, and the mouth that defiles a person. So is Jesus asking, why should Gentiles have to wait to participate in God's blessing, even if he is sent to the children of Israel? And now this week, Jesus is headed for Tyre. The ancient city of Tyre is located on the coast of what is now modern-day Lebanon. Tyre is considered to be one of those Tyre was considered by those in authority in Jerusalem to be an immoral city. It was famous as a port city, and it was famous for the purple dye that was made from the shells of the murex snail. The dye itself was more valuable than gold. At one point, the only person who could wear garments made with that purple dye was the Roman emperor. Tyre was continuously under siege by one group or another from time to time. The city was destroyed in the year 320 by Alexander the Great. But today it's the fourth largest city in Lebanon. So is Jesus going there to prove that all people deserve a seat at God's table? So is that why Jesus headed to Tyre, to an impure place? We don't know why Jesus decided to go there. Maybe he was looking for a place where he wasn't known, a place where he could take a break from ministry and relax. The gospel is written in a way that leads me to believe that he was traveling alone, without his disciples and without his followers. And then what happens next? Jesus is approached by a woman. We don't know what Jesus was thinking when she approached. Was he thinking, I was sent to the children of Israel, I can't help you? But the woman breaks through every traditional barrier that, according to social norms, should have prevented her from reaching Jesus. The woman was a Gentile. She was of Syrophoenician descent, and she's not accompanied by a husband. And what does that mean for her? To those in authority, it means she's impure. She lives outside the land of Israel. She lives outside the laws of Moses. She's a member of a tribe that once was a great enemy of Israel, and she doesn't have a lot going for her right now. You might say she's down on her luck, kind of like the folks that we see living on the streets in our city today. And on top of all that, her daughter is possessed by a demon. We don't know what the extent of the demon is affecting the daughter, but we do know it's causing chaos in their lives. This woman and her daughter are living on the outer edge of society. When Jesus rejects her verbal advances, she begs even more for help for her daughter. And then Jesus says, "Let the children be fed first, for it is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs." Jesus is referring to the children of Israel in this statement, not children in general. And the dogs are everybody else. This is a total contrast to what he is saying earlier about Jews and Gentiles being alike in the terms of defiling a person. But maybe he's testing the people of Tyre. Maybe he's trying to prove that they are worthy of God's blessing. But one thing, Jesus knows that by her persistence, by begging for just the crumbs from under the table, the woman has faith in his ability to help her daughter. When the desperate mom comes back again at Jesus with her response, "Sir, even dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs," Jesus agrees, has compassion on her, and says the demon is gone. From Tyre, Jesus heads to Sidon, in the region of the Decapolis, also a Gentile area. Maybe he's still looking for a place to relax, or maybe he has a new vision for his ministry away from the area where he grew up. But maybe that Syrophoenician woman, with her persistence, gave Jesus a different outlook on his ministry. But no matter how you see it, he cannot avoid being recognized. A group brings a man troubled with deafness and speech impediment, and they beg Jesus to cure him. And he does it in a manner that is totally different from what he did in Tyre. He went to a secluded place, and by laying on his hands, healed the man. We know through Jesus that God's love and healing power know no ethnic, political, or social boundaries. We also know that the laws of the elders that the Pharisees and scribes were defending in last Sunday's gospel were laws that were written by man, not by God. Just like the man who could not speak or hear, the Syrophoenician woman and her daughter are not only healed physically, but emotionally. They are restored to their community through the blessing of Jesus and their faith in him. I can't say that the desperation and determination we hear in today's gospel aren't part of faith. When we are desperate and determined, we know to bring our wants and needs to Jesus in prayer. Just like completing the confession or one of the creeds without messing up the words is not a sign of faithfulness. Knowing how to receive communion is not a sign of faithfulness. But being faithful means knowing deep down inside of yourself, Jesus is always with us. These two stories are especially appropriate for the first Sunday of the beginning of our program year. Think about the focus of our life as a congregation. How can we express God's love to others like Jesus did? How do we feed those who are waiting for the crumbs? How do we acknowledge and show empathy to those who need our support? How do we show God's love to our neighbors? In your daily life, watch for the Syrophoenician woman and her daughter. Watch for the man who cannot hear or speak. Watch for those who are cast-outs from our society. They are God's children needing your empathy. Invite them in. Make sure that they have a chance for a place at the table. And you know, if you love others, you can't resist being loved. Amen.